Namaste, Chris. Apa kabar? Bagus, bagus. Terima kasih banyak. Senang bertemu dengan Anda. Hi, everyone. New name here. Playing my favorite game, Watcher of Realms, and just greeting any of our Indonesian-speaking people. Today, in this upload, I'm going to show you how to all melee team damage Gear Raid 1 Stage 19. And I'll show you the gear after. So I did a practice run, and within minutes, it was already wiped off the recommended lineup. So I'm just going to do it again with you immediately. Now, I won't show you stage 20 because I can only do it with the power of dominance on, and I can't get 21 yet, no matter how I've set it up thus far. My lineup is going to look completely different, I'm certain, than any lineup you've ever used or seen used on this map before. And we're actually going to take Hollow out, and I'd like DJ Dolores to drop some fat beats for her buddy here, Autumn. I've decided to bring her in. And if you're not familiar with Autumn, not only does she bring a buff on her ultimate of crit rate increase, but she adds 60% crit damage during her ultimate to nearby allies. So if you have somebody who is 100% crit, they're going to do 60% more crit damage under her ultimate. The real reason why I'm attempting this, aside from being bored at endgame, is I have this wonderful hero, Cyrus. And I want to show you again how beautiful this hero is. This is Gear Raid 1, Stage 19, no power of dominance. So that skeleton actually claims that tile that it's standing on. None of the mobs can get through that skeleton. So now I have the wall entirely blocked. You might ask, well, why did you use Cyrus's ultimate? So I have this Defender Cyrus in a Soulbound Arcana set. So he's actually wanting to get 5 ultimates off as soon as possible. And then he will get the max stacks from the set and always be doing 50% more damage. And if you didn't see previous videos with this hero, I've had Cyrus able to get almost 300,000 hits, 300k crits. And by putting down these boosters, the Dolores and the Autumn, simultaneously with his ultimate up, where he does 125% bonus damage, he pounds the snot out of these guys. Now, in case you're worried about Abomination over here, he's got a cheat death mechanic. And after that goes, I have enough time to bring in Vortex. All my concerns are over. So let's see what kind of damage these purple numbers coming out of Cyrus are. So they're in the 120s, the 130s. It's not bad. I'm pretty happy about that from a defender. So if I didn't have Abomination, which I don't need in that position, in front of the wall, I would get tons more damage out of Cyrus because he would have to do more before the mobs die. And I'm overpowered and overpowered gear. They don't stand a chance. They're already dead before they even decide like, oh look, one got to the wall. And it's maybe 20 seconds from now that there won't be any mobs left. So Valeria, you might ask, why did you put Valeria where there are no mobs? So Valeria can actually hit with her ultimate what's on the other side of Abomination once you get her ultimate going. So you'll see her, she's starting to do attacks now. So she's helping support Abomination. So you saw Abomination practice thing. So I'm going to stick Eloin's elf out there just for the fun of it, just to make sure no one's dead. Okay. Now I take my Cyrus. I can't use his ability because Eloin's elf was in that tile. Now I can use it. So I pull Autumn off, and you'll see why in a second here. I'm going to stick in Volca, and you'll see how everybody got a 20% for the speed it says. Now I just take her out. She's not needed for anything. Now I put Wrath in. So now you see how it says 35? So I'm just going to take Wrath out. You can keep him in case there's any mobs that squeak through to do damage, but 35% speed for the Nightmare faction is the maximum Lord bonus that Wrath brings. And you'll see here how Valk is just laying the licks on that turtle because she can reach from the center position during her ultimate. Now all we got to do is play the waiting game. Use the ultimates whenever you feel like it. It doesn't really matter. It's only stage 19. And I think it might be about 90 million damage at the end of this with Cyrus. Maybe a little more because I've used Autumn and it boosted his crit damage. So he might have padded the scoreboard per se with his stealing of Abomination's kills. You might ask, like, okay, you could put Autumn on this side so that these heroes get more damage as well. And yes, that's true. And I suggest that you spread, if you're doing a method like this, your damage across the board evenly. However, as you're looking at the wall, it doesn't really matter what I do. My heroes are too overpowered and their gear is way too strong for me to have to min-max placements and timings. However, I'm about to show you some nastiness coming out of Cyrus here. Once everybody's got their ultimate up and all these mobs are in the hole, you're going to see a whole ton of purple numbers, and they all belong to Cyrus. So he's getting low. I'll put in Eloin's elf. Eloin's healing him. He's getting trickle heals from this Dolores over here, and he's getting trickle heals slightly from Autumn. Okay, none of that really matters. So for me, I was saying in a previous video, I only have to get 50,000 blood on the guild boss, and I have 8 total stars left on 4 stages and faction trials. And I can't do them because I don't have the required heroes for the maps. They say you have to have such and such 3 mages of this faction. I only have 2. I'm missing Shamir, kind of thing. So I get bored and I do things like this. And hopefully, while you're watching something like this from me, you're like, you know what? I'm going to give that a try too. I'm bored. I have a whole bunch of stamina. I don't want to watch it in Gear Raid 3. I'm done with the Oracle. I've collected the max. I don't care anymore. So that's the other reasons why I do things like this. Now, I don't know how your Gear Raid 1-19s normally look with the power of dominance off, but this is one way that you can have fun kicking the crap out of this boss sitting on his turtle throne. I hopefully get some kind of an ancient loot. I lied. I have one ancient item from Gear Raid 1 ever. And fortunately, it was on a set that I can use. This is possibly the most aggravating stage I've ever fought in this entire game until I beat it for the first time. And I didn't have a Dolores. I had to use a Narvi. And I didn't have all the superpowerness that you saw. But now that you've seen this, you can have fun with this stage yourself. And let's look at the stat sheet. Yeah. So everything died so quickly, there's no heals. There's no way I could get the damage up on any of these heroes. It wasn't necessary. Let's see what the total heals, like, it's not too bad for, as you'll see in the gear now, that I had Cyrus wearing. Cyrus is in Soulbound Arcana and then a broken set on the left side. So if you don't want to see this gear, I thank you very much for your interest in this channel, and hopefully I bring you other guides or showcases of this hero in special places. For the rest of you that enjoy the deep dive, this is what I have a defender wearing, and he's in some really strong end game gear. I got fortunate with some of the rolls, as you'll see. Purple's at minimum, almost gold. It's pretty happy, and it makes me smile when I look at it. And hopefully these items start dropping for you, especially after some of the previous guides that have shown how to clear Gear Raid 18s and then 19s. Nothing says that you have to clear the 20s and the 21s. Everything you see on my account, it's all accessible from stage 19s. So his total stats, it's 17k for a defender. He's actually got less HP than Abomination, if I recall correctly. So he doesn't attack super fast, even though he's got a lot of attack speed. But he did his job. You saw how easy that was for Cyrus to crush the leaderboard. And he's competing against Abomination. All right. So Valkyra, I put her in the Frigid Flame, which she doesn't take any damage. So she's always at this upgrade level getting 24% extra damage. And in her gears, she's wearing pretty potent Soulbound Arcana as well. And I think I got 4. It might have been 5. I can't recall how many ultimates of hers I was able to knock off. So the skills in her, I was only missing one in the ultimate. I'm not certain. Okay, that's probably the best that it could have been for me. I'm pretty fortunate there. And in her total stats, she's slightly over 15k, and she attacks. It's not bad. It's not a bad build. I'm just funning around. So I normally don't put this on Valeria. I was just trying it for the fun of it. And it's an Inferno Roar set, all right, that had decent rolls. And I just wanted to try it with a crit damage that I normally don't. Normally I would have ran, attack percentage on that amulet. But she's got some decent rolls. on quality sets. So it helps her. And she's got, 6,500 base attack, pumps her up to 20K. It's a lot easier to achieve. All right. She's pretty quick. And I couldn't use the Wailing Skull on her, which I normally would. Fortunately, I was able to pull her exclusive from a Nightmare Void Clear, but I don't find it to be near as effective as the Wailing Skull. Perhaps I'm doing something incorrect, and I wish all of you to be skeptical about anything you see or hear on my uploads and verify through your own research or other sources. I am not the only book in the library. And if I am, I'm a terrible resource for you. You need to have somebody that has every hero in the game if you're going to rely on them for all of your game knowledge. And I don't have that. So if you're not familiar, I'll show you real quick. This is my almost 21K attack Elowen, and people will tell you, like, this isn't necessary. Why do you have so much attack on her? Why don't you have more healing effect? So in testings on this healer on Brokir with somebody else that has very similar Elowen and Brokir, but double the healing effect and half the attack, we're both getting roughly almost 19,000 on the heal. Same HP on the Brokir. So I'm not sure the real benefit of putting heal effect main stat over the attack bonus stat. This has worked for me. I've never gotten any more Asclepius that I've swapped onto Elowen in over 6 weeks. Okay. Now I believe Abomination. Yes, I just had him like he's not in fast set. He doesn't really need to be super fast. He can be, and he might have led the damage. But you'll see here that he's he's a chunky boy. You can get his stats up real powerful, real strong with not decent. Okay, look at this HP percent roll. It's because it's 30K HP to begin with. It's really easy. You could get this guy over 100K if you really, really want it. All right. So this Warlord weaponry, it's that attack that I wanted, not so much the speed. And you're noticing like, there's some blue on this guy. But again, once you get his Awaken 1, which I will show you here, during his charged attack, which is his ultimate, he will stun for half a second. So once he's got two ultimates off, he's always under his charged attack from Boundless Endurance. Okay? Anyways, Abomination is probably my favorite free-to-play attainable hero in this game. In case you're curious, like I said, Volca, naked. Nothing on her. Okay? And Dolores, I don't, she's dependent on her gear for her stats. I don't change my Dolores. Okay, this works for me. It's not a good build for Dolores. It's under 11K, but it works. That's all that really matters. I believe that's all you need to see. There's nothing more fun for me currently in this game than to do certain things like that, just personal challenges or community challenges. There's certain people in chat that continuously provide challenges. And recently there was one I couldn't attain. But if you come up with anything, please feel free to message me in game or leave any kind of challenge in the comment section of these videos. This has been New Name playing my favorite game, Watcher of Realms. Please be kind. Drive safe, everyone.